and welcome to this week's episode of Beyond the Broomstick, the podcast that opens up all the opportunities and possibilities that spirituality can bring to you in your everyday life, whilst removing some of the woo-woo that we see on social media these days. Welcome. If we haven't met before, my name is Matilda and I am a professional psychic medium as well as spiritual coach based here in Australia. I have been practicing for well over 20 years and I love being able to empower people with the knowledge that is already within them. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about fear and the fear around conspiracy theories. Gotta love a good conspiracy theory. And we're also going to be talking about how to help you keep and contain your consciousness and hold yourself steady over the coming months, especially when things feel like they're getting out of control. I understand that many people are tired. I keep getting comments on social media saying that I'm tired, I'm stressed, I can't take it anymore. I'm really sorry, but it's not going to end. Things are going to get more difficult, and I want to be able to prepare you for what is to come, not just by giving you predictions, but by giving you tools and tips in order to manage and to just hold steady, because a steady mind is going to help you. At the end of the episode, as always, I am going to talk about what I see coming in and predictions I see coming in. First of all, though, as I say, I really want to talk about fear and conspiracy theories and why people tend to dive into conspiracy theories, because it's safe. It's safer. The whole thing around the hurricanes happening at the moment and people saying that the government are controlling the weather. I want to know how the fuck you think the government are going to control the weather. Seriously. I understand that cloud seeding exists. I understand there are patents for cloud seeding. Read the patents. Read them. Pay attention for what they are for. They are certainly not to enhance, enlarge and make big hurricanes. I know that weather manipulation is real, but it is cloud seeding. It is used in arid areas. I have seen so many conspiracy theories lately. It is driving me mad. The reason people do it is because they are fearful of the truth. The truth is that climate change is coming to bite us. The temperature of the water is hot. It is getting hotter, which is causing the hurricanes. I understand that is scary for some people, but it is the reality of the situation. Next, we'll be having people claiming that the Democratic Party are all jumping up and down at one time to cause an earthquake. It is getting out of hand, but fear is not your friend. I'm also seeing a lot of people on social media just sitting there and saying, I'm scared, or I'm tired. I'm tired. Everyone is tired. And I know that we are living in unprecedented times. But we will get through it by working together. We will get through it by being part of a team. We will have no choice other than to work together and be a community. A community is the way forward. And this is really the universe's way of pushing us together, for making us work together. And you can try as you might to sit there and wring your hands and say, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. But it's really not helping you. And the reality is that we need to work on ways to help our mindset Our mindset is really what's going to get us through, having a steady mind. There's a saying by Buddha, who is your enemy? Mind is your enemy. No one can harm you more than your own mind, or the untrained mind. Who is your friend? Mind is your friend. Nothing can help you more than that of a trained mind, not even your loving parents. What do we see when we look at our minds? Constant change. The untrained mind will spin out thoughts, emotions, images, stories, likes, dislikes, plans, regrets, and reactions. There is a ceaseless movement filled with words, ideas, memories. Clearly seeing this stream of inner dialogue is one of the first insights into meditation practices. It is called seeing the waterfall, experiencing the effervescent nature of mind. Mind's constant changes are like the weather. Today is rain, tonight it may be snow, earlier the sun was out. It is muddy in the spring, and then the summer heat appears. In the fall, the winds arise and the leaves go. In winter, the ice forms. We are like that. We are part of nature. Mindfulness meditation isn't directed to creating and holding some special state like many other meditations. It's about learning to steady our attention on the present moment, finding a wise and compassionate relationship to this organic change of body and heart and mind that we can embody this loving awareness in every single season that the mind creates. For the mind to become steady, settled in the present moment, in the midst of so much change, it is helpful to develop a degree of stability. That is going to help you. That is about holding your consciousness. Concentration is the art of calming and steadying our attention. Like a candle flame in a windless place. One way we can practice this is with the attention of breathing or with a body scan. As we gently train ourselves to become mindful of breathing and of our body, we can see more clearly and become more balanced and more deeply present. We experience a unity of our own body, spirit, and mind. To steady and calm the mind takes patience, and this is where a lot of people are just expecting a miracle to calm themselves. They want instant gratification like many things in life these days. They get the instant gratification from what they're watching, from the news, from the radio, from social media. They get that fix of fear, but they don't want to put into practice what it will take to steady their mind. For the mind to become steady and settled in the present moment, in the midst of so much change, is going to take work. To steady and calm the mind is almost like training a puppy. We get the puppy and we say stay or sit. And what does it do? It gets up and it runs around. And we say stay and sit again and again and again. 20 times we will say stay, and after a while, and very slowly, the puppy will settle. Through practice, gently and gradually, we can direct and steady our attention and learn how to be more fully where we are. But remember, this steadying of heart and mind, it builds slowly. At first, we may be discouraged. It can take a lot of time. After trying for some days, maybe we are more mindful 10% of the time. Do not give up. Don't judge yourself by failure. You've got to keep going. Bringing yourself into the moment this moment. If you feel that you are panicking or you are overwhelmed by the events that are going on, by the news cycle, by what is going on in your own life, and it's all becoming overwhelming, putting the work in to steady your mind will help you so much. Standing still or sitting still. Feel your feet on the ground. Work your way up and feel your ankles. Feeling your knees all the way up to your hips, up through your whole body. Just staying there, feeling your body. It will calm your mind. And keep doing this and keep repeating it, and it really will help. The development of steady concentration comes through training, deliberately nurturing an inner peacefulness. It doesn't have to be in a special place. It can be wherever you are, wherever you feel that overwhelmed feeling, and it will help you by letting go of the anxiety about the past and the future and whatever is going on, and you just relax into your body. Keep trying it. Practice every single day, and it will help. That is one way to quieten your mind, and I'll talk about other things after I give my Patreon shout-outs. If you don't know about my Patreon page, the link is in my bio. Patreon is another platform where I can talk about things a little bit more freely. There are Patreon-only podcasts. There are Q&A podcasts where I'll answer the questions regarding spirituality or current affairs. There is a lot more predictions, but they are held over to my Patreon page. You and I know that I get trolled on social media, so I prefer to put them on Patreon. Now, I'm just going to give my Patreons a massive shout out. You guys rock. It does help me do what I do, and that's a wonderful thing. So I want to thank every single one of my new Patreon supporters. So Amelia, Della, Renee, Phoebe, Nicole, G, Kimberly, who has supported me for 12 months, Elizabeth, Ashley, Krista, Rachel, Kath, Crystal Alexander, Monica, Deborah Guzman, Patricia Allen, Chris Dias, Kelly, Sherry, Burgos, Kendra, Lex, Shari Trella, Brianna Nichols, thank you. You have supported me for a full 12 months. Thank you so much. Jessica, Yankee Amy, thank you again, a 12-month pledge. Retired, Rebecca Glass Wilson, who has also supported me for full 12 months. Anna Patterson, Haley, who has joined for 12 months. Katina, Jacqueline, Courtney Cass, Courtney, Sarah Gesner, Peppermint Pookie, Lindsay, Andrea Diaz, Loney, who has supported me for 12 months, Dennis Littles, Jennifer, Joyce, Didi Javaris, who has supported me for 12 months, Diana Burns, who supported me for 12 months, Lauren Rogers, Samantha, Angela Kay, who upped their pledge to 12 months, Nikki Yu, Glenda Craft, Julia, Catherine Simpson, who again supported me for 12 months, Anita Chavon, Hayley Desario, Kendra Kana, Cass, Heather Lefcourt, Nicola Parker, Mackenzie Chumley, Denise Plort, Anikja, I'm sorry, I've got that wrong, I do apologise, Isis Wilson, who supported me for 12 months, CB, Shayla Jordan, Christina, who supported me for 12 months, Cindy David, Mona, Andrea Rice, Katie, Layla, Kat, Joy Rowe, EI, Kate, Sarah Riccio, who supported me for 12 months, Leslie, who supported me for 12 months, Holly, Rochelle, Antiquamary, Darla, Laura, Steph, Jenna C., who supported me for 12 months, Glenn Ramirez, Holly, and Chastity Claude. You guys rock. You are amazing for all the support you give me. Your subscriptions help me produce this podcast, all the stuff that I do on Patreon. Don't forget to check out the collections tab. That will have all of the different information on there that you will find under your tier. Keep an eye out for lots more information coming in the coming weeks. And thank you again. You guys are amazing. As I said, fear is a terrible thing, and it does breed this anger, and it makes us look for reasons to be angry. What I have seen on social media this week is a lot of people quoting other people. They're not even doing their own research. There is such a thing as confirmed bias, and if you look for something without looking at the finer detail, you'll basically find what you want. You'll find exactly what you want that will confirm your ideals, but you have to read the finer detail. Let's talk about the gentleman that had a go on social media, because I find it absolutely hilarious. Didn't bother me. As I said in my story, he's the reason that we choose the bear. He had a go at me because I didn't mention cloud seeding and how corrupt the government is, and that I have a political agenda, I think. He also said that I was an astrologer, so his ability to look at the finer detail wasn't there. But the government cannot control the weather. They can do cloud seeding, but read the patterns, read the information, because none of that, that isn't what hurricanes are about. My job is always to help people as much as I can. And I am concerned that there's a lot of people out there that are really struggling with the feeling of overwhelmed. So they're reacting out of fear. There's a lot of anger, there's snarkiness, there's biting at people, there's being nasty on social media. And as I've always said, my job is to bring to you information that will either prepare you or get you ready for situations or let you know what's coming in. It's not to help you, it's not to give you the answers. I don't want to create fear. I've been talking about the weather in October since the beginning of the year, and it's here now, and it's causing fear. On top of that, we do have global conflicts going on. And as I talked about last week in my podcast, they are not ending anytime soon. In fact, I think that they are going to kick off a little bit more as we go into 2025. It is going to be hairy. All right. And I don't say that to put fear amongst you. What I do it for is so that you are prepared. But how you can help yourself is to hold steady and to manage your consciousness. Many people are overwhelmed by things that are happening overseas, not just on their doorstep. Many people on the other side of the world or the other side of the US are concerned about the weather impacting the East Coast. Try to sit in your consciousness. Try to bring yourself down to the now, concentrating on an object and breathing. Look at ways you can help other people. You don't have to spend money. Not everyone can donate to charity. Maybe just doing a simple task like taking a few tins of things to the food bank, or asking a neighbour if they need help with something in particular. You can go a bit further by helping at a local shelter or a food truck, or doing something that suits your skills to help other people. Being of service can get us out of that fight or flight mode. trying to train your mind away from the fear and destruction is a big help. Find a book and read it. Take up reading, take up puzzles, take up knitting. All of these things will help, but you must be an active participant in order for them to help you. It is really hard sometimes to overcome our consciousness, to understand that we can be so full of fear that it can come across as hate. It can come across as emotional. Many people suffer from anxiety and don't realize that they are reactionary because of that anxiety. Look at ways to try meditation. There are meditation tapes on my Patreon. And if you're not a member of my Patreon, there are plenty on YouTube that you can choose from. Put a podcast on, listen to a book, whatever takes your mind away from wandering and becoming overactive will really help you. Be kind to yourself, because when we feel overwhelmed, when we feel threatened, whether it's a change of circumstances or the weather, conflicts, political landscapes, it all adds up. But having expectations on yourself to manage things, you weren't taught to manage yourself. The thing about living through unprecedented times is that that's it. It is unprecedented. So you are, I suppose, the guinea pigs on how to manage these things. Make sure that you talk to your friends. Make sure that you do some activities to train your mind away from the worry. Make sure that you are not reactionary because of what you're feeling inside. That's something that I see a lot of. Fear breeds reactions. Make sure that you take time within your self-care routine to hold steady, to practice how to balance your mind and to focus it so that when situations come up, when you automatically want to react, you have the tools in your tool belt to manage. This is about making it easier for you, making sure that you can navigate these times gently with yourself. But at the same time, those that sit and say, I can't cope, I'm tired, it's too much, need to be working on a daily basis to practice having a steady mind. I will add some meditations into my Patreon page this week to help people out. I understand that current times are very difficult, but please practice. The more you practice, the more confident you will feel, the less fear you will feel, because the fear that overwhelms you, you'll be able to keep in check. I'm going to touch again on conspiracy theories and how dangerous they are on social media. The fact that some large creators have been called out recently about about spreading propaganda just goes to show how widespread these are. I also know that there is a lot of fear around people that may not share political values, and they think it's easier, or know it's easier to believe in a conspiracy theory than actually what is going on. The fear that the Republican Party are probably going to lose, well, are actually going to lose this election. The fear that they want control over a situation, the fear that they cannot understand that things are out of their control is causing this to happen. It is also people wanting to change the political landscape by pushing a political agenda. And it's a very dangerous place to be. And I want you all to be very careful about what you are seeing. I mean, just today I was attacked by some numbnut. I can't even remember what his name was. Endgame. Mr. Endgame. He was very threatening in his video to me because he was obviously threatened by Laurie and I and our intelligence and our ability to do what we do. That fear made him come across as very threatening in his video, telling me that I was stupid because I didn't know that weather could be manipulated. I'm well aware of cloud seeding, you idiot. Cloud seeding doesn't cause hurricanes. Anyway, moving on from that, I am going to jump in and give you a handful of things that I see coming up in the coming weeks. And I am also going to talk about some weather things. I just want to talk about this to start with. I am not a weather person. I'm a medium. I am shown major events. It's not about predicting a hurricane. It's about predicting a major hurricane. Major catastrophes. Don't like it. Wish I didn't. Hate seeing it. But it's not about predicting the weather. So when people come on to TikTok and say, what about this place? What about that place? What about this? What about that? What about that? That I find very disconcerting because I'm not going to give you a prediction for your holiday weather. I am just telling you and pre-warning you about major events that I am shown. But what I do see coming in is this. We all know that the hurricane that is currently, Hurricane Milton is currently making its way to Florida. It is going to cause a considerable amount of destruction. I want to say that I feel that, and I don't know the logistics, I just give it to you as I get it from Spirit, Louisiana. There may be something that hits Louisiana, whether it is this or whether it is something coming up from the Gulf. There is going to be at least another 2 to 3 hurricanes or incredibly large storm fronts hitting the East Coast. I will repeat this again, from the Gulf states up to New York, Chicago, inland, lots of rain. I've seen Philadelphia, I've seen Virginia, I have seen Chicago, I have seen Canada, all of that. Be prepared. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're all going to be hit by a hurricane, but the end tail of it, the water. I have seen so much water. It is going to be major flooding in the areas I have spoken about, including what I feel is a hurricane hitting New Jersey, New York, and that surrounding area. How I see predictions is I am being given visuals and landmarks. If I don't know the landmarks, I don't know the area. I give you what I get. I'm not 100%, and my God, I hope I'm wrong. I will happily come on here in November and tell you that I have been wrong. But at the moment, can you just all be prepared and ready for it? I want to talk about New Zealand now, and this is quite important. The earthquake that happened last week, just outside of Wellington, I feel is a preamble. There is something coming for New Zealand within the next week. We are sitting on, what date is it today? Because I don't remember, the 8th of October. We are sitting on the 8th of October. I feel between now and the 16th, there may well be a major earthquake in the New Zealand area. It could be offshore or just offshore, like the tippy top. But I'm also concerned about volcanic action. White Island comes to mind. I know that's an active volcano, but I feel like it may have a hissy fit, which I hope they're not still running tours to it. But volcanic action either in, around or off one of the islands off New Zealand, could be Tonga, but I definitely see volcanic action happening, including an earthquake. It could be land, but I'm really pushed to offshore of New Zealand at the top. So be ready for that. There could be a little bit more rocking and rolling before the big one happens. When I say big, I'm feeling about a 6, but enough to cause a little bit of damage and some water damage. That's New Zealand, and I feel like that's in the next week. Europe being battered by wind. I know that there's rain. There is a chance of some flooding in London, especially. I know that there's a lot of wind. I just feel wind damage. And when I say Europe, I am talking right the way across, including Ireland, UK, Spain, France, sort of that sort of area. Be aware of that. I've been flagged with some terrorist action in Germany. The Middle East is going to continue to grow. I feel as if, like, I've been shown almost some significant problems in Israel. I feel like they're going to be hit again, and it's going to be significant. So hold on to that. Not much coming up in the next week or so, or what I am being shown in around Russia and the Ukraine. I've talked about that endlessly on my podcasts and on my Patreon only. And a lot of people are asking, like, Australia. I've given so many predictions for Australia. So many. You are just going to have to find them. I can't keep repeating them. They are in my playlist. They are on my podcast. They are on my Patreon only podcast. There is lots of them. So hold on to that. Announcement coming out from the Wessex camp who are in California. They maybe have bought a house or chosen a new location. That's worth holding on to. The energy isn't great at the moment in the US, in particular around, I am concerned around the candidates for the election. I feel like there may be, in the next 2 weeks, serious security concerns for both sides of the party. That includes vice presidents and vice presidential candidates, as well as presidential candidates and their families. I feel like there's news going to be coming out about an attempt on a family member, or a foiled attempt on a family member. Going to touch on California very quickly. I have talked about this until I'm blue in the face. Earthquakes are incredibly hard to pinpoint. My prediction that was made at the beginning of the year was an earthquake, Southern California, sometime between August and the end of October. There was one in Nevada that was significant, but in a non-built up area. I think it was a 5.4 or something. I don't know if that's the one. I am not seeing anything in particular at this stage other than my original prediction, and the Pacific Northwest, exactly the same prediction as I have made. I feel like I'm constantly repeating myself. So if you are on my social media and you see people asking questions, please steer them towards my playlists. I would be very grateful. That would help me out a lot. That's about it for this week. Take on board the help in holding your consciousness and how important it is. Without holding your consciousness, you become very reactionary. You become very stuck in fight or flight. And you can help yourself get out of that fight or flight mode by working on your meditation, working with the power of now. That's a great book to get. Eckhart Tolle, that's a great book to get because it really brings you into focusing on this minute. This moment is never going to be repeated. And that is one of the ways to help you from feeling so overwhelmed by what is going on in the world. I want to give you all a great shout out for helping me and for your support. Currently, I have been sitting pretty much for a week at number 1 in the US charts, very high in both the religion and spirituality charts. I think I was at number 15 in the US and about number 20 in Australia. They're really difficult charts to get into because they include religion and spirituality, obviously. And I would not be here without you guys, and I really do appreciate that. I will be back next week. Remember, if you want extra content, pop onto my Patreon. It's all there. There's lots of information for you. You can find it. Very easy to find. But that's it from me for now. I will see you all next week. As always, I am incredibly grateful for all of you. Take care of yourself.